There we go. Another effortless transition from me, as professional as always. Thank you, everyone, who's joined us for another live edition of the 1894 podcast. We are here on the Sunday after Bristol City's 2-0 win in their last home game of the season against Rotherham United at Ashton Gate. A pretty comfortable afternoon, a very good day on the whole, and Bristol team ran out comfortable 2-0 winners. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Matisse. Matisse, how are you doing after yesterday's pretty comfortable day, let's say? You're muted, Matisse.
Oh, a classic, a rookie mistake.
Great
I'd say
start.
it was a comfortable win, a professional. We got the job done, did what we needed to do, and it wasn't really a struggle for us. I didn't think Rotherham really gave anything going forward. And then, we broke them down through 2 set-piece goals, and that was enough, really. Another clean sheet, extended our unbeaten run, and I think it was a needed 3 points. Going into that game, we knew we should be winning, and good to beat a side, at the bottom of the table, but they had nothing to play for, and you could kind of tell.
Yeah, they were flat as anything, and they were really poor. Look, I've seen some bad sides at Ashton Gate, even this season, but they are up there, and they just had no quality going forward. Quite sad, actually, to see. There you go. This was the Bristol City team. A couple of changes, I think. One change in particular, Matty James, who came in for Jason Knight in midfield, and Anis Mametti, who took place of, I think, Mark Sykes, who started at Norwich. Still a back five, so Max and goal, McCrory, Tanner, Dickey, Roberts, and Pring is the back five. Matty James and Joe Williams in midfield. Possibly both of their last games at Ashton Gate in a City shirt. Scott Twine, another one who could be the last game at Ashton Gate in a City shirt. Mametti and Tommy Conway, another one who that rule applies to. Before I get your take on the City team, this was the Rotherham side. There's a back four, so Dylan Phillips in goal, so no Victor Johansson, who is their standout player by a country mile. So there's a back four, Sebastian Revan at right back, Lee Peltier, you can still find him, Cameron Humphreys, Cohen Bramall, Oliver Rathbone, who's their captain, really good player, Andy Renamotta, Arvin Appiah, Hakim Odofin, who's played at centre back, centre defensive midfield as a number 8, and now he's playing as a number 10. And Tom Eves and Jordan Hugill up top. This is the Bristol City team, and Matisse, what were your thoughts on it when you saw the team at 2:00?
Well, like you mentioned, a couple of changes. I'm happy with Anis coming in instead of Sykes, and then we dropped Knight as well to go with Matty James and Joe Williams. I mean, I wasn't too worried because considering the opposition and also the amount Jason Knight has played this season, amount of minutes, the amount of time he's run around the pitch, maybe give him a little bit, at least one half off the pitch. But yeah, good lineup. Viner's still out, but Robert's getting a lot of game time now, playing really well, really good to see. And I mean, we'll get on to it later, but yeah, the summer signings from obviously last year really shining through.
Let's get into the game then. Let's waste no time about it. We start. I'd say at the start of the game it was quite an even game. It felt like Rotherham had a lot more of the possession, which was a bit weird. It felt like they were knocking around with their centre backs Humphreys and Peltier, and they weren't really going anywhere. But they were having their fair share of possession. Tom Eves gets in on goal after I think George Tanner makes a. Is it George Tanner or Hayden Robertson? One of them makes a meal of a header. Eves gets in. It's a good save by Max. And the resulting header from Hakim Odofin is his free. It's a free header, and it's had to be tipped over by Max for another corner.
Yeah, like you said, it's pretty. It always starts off. Usually our game's pretty tight, but I mean, throughout the game, I never really felt like we were threatened in a way. And at the end of the game, we had 70% possession, which is, I think, probably our highest this season. Because we are not a team that tends to keep a lot of the ball. But yeah, a good save by Max that Eves shot. But then we were starting to build forward. I think we started the game off the first minute. We were already on the front foot. Created like a couple half chances, and then eventually broke through in the 32nd minute.
Yeah, and the man himself, Scott Twine, who is the reincarnation of like Diego Maradona, Pele, all that combined. No, he's really good. He's just a really good player. Puts Tommy Conway in now. Tommy Conway takes it around Dylan Phillips. At first, from my angle, it looked like, it's one of those where he's taking it around the keeper. Keeper's kind of left in no man's land saying about it. He takes the goal. He takes one for the team, really, because you're not going to get a red card for that, the keeper. So it looked like, it's just a blatant foul. The replays, Dylan Phillips does not touch Tommy Conway in the slightest. Penalties given, though, and Tommy Conway, fair to him, I think 5 penalties a season for Tommy. I think all 5 of them have found the back of the net.
Yeah, he knows how to take a penalty. Yeah, he's getting really good at it. And this season we've got so many of them. I remember probably this time last year we had that website up and looking how many days since the last one, and now it's just coming every week. Yeah, it wasn't a foul, and you could just tell the way it was like just a staircase fall, and the reaction from it. At first, I was like, he went down very easily there, but guess we got away with that one. I guess he played that situation well, but yeah, brilliant ball from Twine, and he did that a couple times before, and he was great yesterday, I have to say. And I think he played Anis in a bit earlier, who he has to shoot earlier in that chance. He just passes around and
tries to take it around like 5 different Rotherham players. It's stupid.
It's still lacking that bit, but yeah, he definitely should have taken a shot. And I think another ball into Conway, he had a minor chance, but
the left hand side.
Keeper saved it, and then he played that ball in to Conway to cause the foul and penalty, which put away nicely, and 1-0 up and pretty content. Create a few chances. Maybe it wasn't a penalty. Well, it wasn't, but we take it and we move.
Yeah, for the rest of the half looked again pretty balanced, but again we kind of kept good possession and kept control of the first half. The first half numbers are we had an XG of 1.49, and that obviously is padded a lot by the penalty. 68% possession, 7 shots, 4 on target. Obviously, the Conway one would have been on target, and the penalty obviously as well. Rotherham next year of 0.25, so that would have been again padded by Tommy Eves' big chance on the right hand side, and Dolphins I'm not sure would have had a massive XG either. But I thought first half, I didn't think we were particularly that good, to be completely honest. I just thought we're coming up against a side who are just so short of confidence. I thought managed that quite well, and it was one of those games we just had to get the job done, and we did it. And second half, I thought, started with intent and started really well.
Yeah, we knew we had to kind of finish the game off and make sure we got the 3 points. But I feel like throughout the whole 90, we knew we just had to get the game done. And didn't really matter how we did it. No open play goals, obviously, but against a struggling side, didn't have obviously nothing to fight for as well. Good to capitalize on the possession, because we usually struggle with more possession, but ended with 2 XG goals, which obviously reflected in the amount we scored. But looked a bit bright going forward off the bat. No changes made. Manning doesn't usually like to make halftime changes, actually. I don't remember when he has, but good start, and only took
Plymouth
12 minutes.
Made a triple change at halftime.
He did the Plymouth. Okay, well, you got me at that one. But usually, a general trend, he waits a bit. But only took us 12 minutes, and then we double our lead.
Well, and this is just pure magic, isn't it? It's just pure individual quality from Scott Twine.
He's
the one who wins. He's the one who wins the free kick himself. Exactly. yeah, he's bearing down on goal. If the defender doesn't foul him, he probably gets a shot away. But I think Andy Renamoff stupidly takes him out in hindsight, obviously, because why would he take out Scott Twine in that sort of position? Takes him down. Scott Twine wins the foul, and then you just have a feeling that this is going to go in. It's just a free kick. I think the first time in 4 years, since Jamie Patterson maybe scored that free kick against Hull.
That free kick was
in lockdown. Well, that was a beautiful free kick.
Wow, really nice. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was perfectly taken by him. Yeah, like we said, he won it himself in that position. You just know he's gonna have a crack, and he's tried a couple times before in his games for us, but hasn't managed it yet. And that's now his second goal for us. And yeah, it's just beautiful. It just curls into the I think it even hits the side netting before. And at that angle, that's so impressive because it was like kind of just a bit to the left of the near post. So yeah, brilliant free kick and 2-0 up with just an hour gone. Sign that contract.
I've got a pen. And if you're listening to this on the audio, there you go. The pen. There you go. Yeah, I think the chance made. I don't know if you picked it up on the on Robin's TV, but section 25 started singing some sort of Twine chants, which I felt like a proud dad. Like this just carried on for a while.
What was the chant?
I'm not going to sing it on. I'm not going to sing it on a podcast. I'm not singing on the podcast. But yeah, it was a fantastic moment, and at the end of the game as well, some Andy King propaganda, which I'm here for, is magnificent. Yeah. After that,
you want to see Annie sing, and then the start next podcast, he'll have a go.
I'm not singing.
I'm
not singing. I'm not singing. The day I start singing on the podcast is the day, I don't know, Tom Eaves shaves his hair. If you know Tom Eaves, you'll know what I'm talking about. Right. Yeah, after that, fairly comfortable. Didn't look in trouble. Rotherham, poor, very poor. And yeah, we were very, very, very dominant and looked in complete control. Would you agree?
Yeah, they just didn't really care. They wanted the game to end, really, Rotherham. Their season's over, and I have to
say, massive credit to the 420 Rotherham fans who came dressed as bananas, minions, in Mexican hats. So that was a tribute to Steve Evans, and started doing the conga. I think 1-0 down. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm sure they would have done it even if we were 6-7 up, or if they were winning. But still, absolutely brilliant. Not the best fans I've seen in terms of numbers, but best fans in terms of just pure entertainment.
When you're 21 points off of 23rd place in the championship and you're relegated already and making the trip down, it's impressive. Got to give props to them. And yeah, we'll see how they do next year. They'll probably bounce straight back up, but we'll see. End of the game, pretty bang average. Created a couple chances here and there. Then we made some substitutions, but never really struggled. Just knew 2 was big enough cushion for us, and we kind of see the game out. Joe Williams obviously had to get a yellow card because he can't go 90 minutes without one. But
of course he had to. Just had to.
Other than that, it was good. And also a debut for Elijah Morrison, who came on in the 85th minute for Print.
Well, good and bad, because Elijah Morrison came on, so that's the good bit. But Campering, I think, went off with an injury, but he was walking fine. So, because he did go down before coming off, but he looked like he was walking okay. So hopefully it's not anything too bad. And if he is, again, it's one of those where if he's in any doubt whatsoever for Stoke, just don't play him. Just don't bother. Like, you know what I mean? Good timing, really, because of summer coming up. So hopefully, if it's just a short term, if it's a couple of weeks, it's fine. It doesn't matter. If it's something a little bit more serious than that, then obviously that's a bit of an issue. But yeah, Hayden Roberts can tuck in there if needed. Jamie Notwell can possibly come in if needed as well. If he's on bench. Taylor Barn Hickman can can play there as well when in the fullback positions. So yeah, I think for one game we can manage without Cam if needed. But yeah, good to see Elijah Morrison, who with his first touch, I think lost the ball, and there's a guy in front of me kind of sarcastically went, "Oh, get him off! He's not good enough." He said it sarcastically, and then I think he took it round one player with his next touch, and he looked okay.
As well. I think he fouled someone as well.
Oh yeah, he did. He did go in on someone, and yeah, I remember that. That's a good one as well. Yeah, proper kind of Bristol.
Good way to put good way to put your first impression on the fans. Yeah, Naki came on as well in I think it was a triple. What was it? A triple sub? Well, here there says Naki and
60. It was a double, and then Matty James came off a little bit later. I don't know.
Like a minute. Yeah, a bit strange, but yeah, Naki, Sykes, and Jason Knight on for like positions in all of them. Tommy Conway off, Anis and Matty James. So yeah, just switching up, see what Naki can do. And Jason Knight as well. I mean, Jason Knight started a lot of games. I'm going to have a look at how many.
And then on 81, Starboy, can I call him a Starboy if he's not even employed by us? Scott Twine comes off for Andy King. Andy King. I don't know. Oh, God. Yeah, hopefully plays in that game at Stoke. If it's not a start, then hopefully he comes on at halftime or something like that, because he's a Bristol City fan. He's been here. He's been a very good servant for us. He's helped us during some tricky periods where we've had to kind of rely on him, Matty James, players like that, whilst we're having a rebuild in the background. So for him, and he's never had like a shocker of a performance, or he's never had a consistent length of, oh my God, he's just not good enough. Even at Forest away, he came on and he was really good technically, wasn't he? So yeah.
When he was a centre back, there was a couple questions.
There were a couple of moments, but generally,
yeah, he served. He did what he had to do, and yeah, I think he's been brilliant. But do you think he'll stay as a coach? Or
probably not. I'm not sure. He might go back to Leicester as a coach.
Yeah,
maybe go there. But yeah, I wouldn't mind him staying as a coach in like the under 21s or something like that, just to get him involved in the setup or in the first team background. But possibly not. Yeah, he comes on for Scott Twine as like probably a final hurrah. Ashton Gate for King, and then Elijah Morrison came on for Cameron in 85 minutes. Apart from that, though, Rotherham. You know what? Something that really creeped me out from a Rotherham perspective. They brought off Ollie Rathbone in 88 for Ben Hatton. Ben Hatton looked like a 17-year-old Alex Scott. He had the same hairstyle, had skinny legs. You know the big calves Alex Scott has. Same build, everything. Is really creepy. I think he's a youngster as well, so good luck to him going properly. How old is he? It doesn't say. Yeah, he came on yesterday. He looked a bright spark, actually. He looked all right midfield, passing about and stuff like that. But yeah, that was it for the game, really. And then afterwards, obviously, there was the Wurzels out on the South Stand concourse. But there was also the Player of the Year, Player of the Season, Young Player of the Year. What, the Wurzels? For a little bit.
Do they do the Player of the Seasons like straight after, right?
Yeah. They do that and then do the lap of appreciation on lap.
Did most of the fans stay? Did most of us stay? Or
half of them, I think, around that. But yeah.
It's better than Huddersfield.
Yeah, that's true. Right. Player of the Season then was announced, and it was none other than Rob Dickie himself, who started yesterday. A few words on Rob Dickie then, because he's just been superb all season. Absolutely magnificent.
I mean, to consider it's his debut season, we've signed him in the summer and he's pulled out some incredible performances. He's got us out of really like some bad situations, and he comes in clinical moments. He's got us, I think, quite a couple, at least 2 or 3 1-0 victories where it's just a Rob Dickie header, or he's poached it within the 6-yard box, and yeah, got us a couple 3 points. And then defensively with Zach when they obviously had that partnership. I mean, it's been switched up a little bit, but for most of the time, they've been brilliant. And yeah, the fact there's ball playing as well. I mean, obviously Naismith has been out. Naismith was kind of a player that we wanted to be able to do that, but the way he runs with the ball, he's played in some beautiful passes to create goals. Just overall, it's been a brilliant signing and an amazing senior. I definitely deserved for me. I think Jason Knight also had a brilliant season, but I had to give it to one player. I'd say Rob Dickey.
Yeah, and I think weirdly enough, I thought he started in that home game at Preston, in the first game of the season against Preston, didn't he? And he looked a little bit shaky alongside Zach on the left hand side of that partnership. He looked a little bit shaky, and I thought, someone we just signed from QPR again, confident shot player, clearly a good player in there because really highly rated at Oxford and at Rangers, but it's been a little bit shaky. But then has just grown into season, as you mentioned, 5 goals for him this season, which is really, really good. A lot of kind of match-winning goals at Swansea, at Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday, some really crucial goals that's earned us a lot of points. And yeah, it's just been added our set-piece threat and scale that up a lot. And obviously with Scott Twine's delivery, we would have hoped for a little bit more in terms of that combination, but it's really turned out that way. But yeah, I think deserved and really, just shows what a kind of a good player can do in a good environment, and that has to be given credit to Pearson and to Manning because they've both created that good environment, and clearly a player like Dickey has thrived off that. Other players as well, like Joe Williams and Tommy Conway and Matty James, have also thrived off that, where maybe particularly for maybe Matty James and Joe Williams haven't really done as much as our other clubs, maybe because the environment's different. So yeah, massive credit to Dickey and completely deserved.
And just the recruitment team as well.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. Like the signings we made were obviously in the summer: Dickey, McCrory, Roberts, Knight, and Taylor Garner-Hickman. And Dickey played the season. Knight, I'd say second best off the top of my head. He's been brilliant. Roberts obviously had a slow start, but these last couple months been fantastic and definitely can play a big role next season. And then Taylor Garner-Hickman looked really bright, bit slow recently. Obviously, he's been injured, but signings that have really made an impact to the squad, which is what we want to see. And hopefully we can do that again with the right signings in the summer. But Dickey just fantastic and deserved. And then, yeah, young player of the year as well was awarded, which Tommy Conway, none other, won because Alex Scott's out of the squad now. He's managed to get his trophy. I think he's had a good season, Tommy Conway, but I still like to see more from him. But he's on an upward trajectory. I feel like in certain games there's moments where he can be a bit more clinical, but he has had a few penalties, but he's bagged all of them. And then in most of the general play, he's brought us the moment of West Ham in both legs. And as much as I love Naki Wells, he's been better than Naki Wells this season. And yeah, he's been a good player, and he's got his award for it.
Yeah, massively deserved as well. Maybe Hayden Roberts. Can he still be? Is he how old is Roberts? 23, maybe.
21.
21. Yeah, so maybe he can be kind of. It's brilliant, Hayden Roberts at 21 on a free transfer from Brighton. Like, he's just signed players from top academies in England who are really good on the ball, like a Brighton, like a Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. These top academies who play good football. That's going to be instilled throughout. So brilliant recruitment. Joe, sorry if you've already spoken about this, but who do you think would extend their contract / leave in the summer? We'll talk about it in a bit. Actually, we can talk about it. We can talk about it after this, actually. Hayden Roberts, brilliant. Tommy Conway, massively deserved of the award, I think. Probably the standout kind of young player. Obviously, there have been other young players who have come kind of through this season. I'm thinking Jamie Knight-LaBelle. Obviously, Tommy Conway's made his mark last season, really, didn't he? Hayden Roberts has done magnificently well. Max O'Leary, I know he's not young anymore, but still, academy players massively improved this season in general game.
I think we'll do. Yeah, I think we when we do our end of season podcast as well, we could maybe do some of our own awards, maybe most improved, things like that. We could talk about some of there. But yeah, Tommy Conway reached double figures as well with that goal for us. So yeah, he's on 10 now, and I think that's got his top goal scorer award now for this season.
Yeah. Well, we can wrap up on the game by just quickly talking about what it kind of insinuates for us. That win, combined with the fact that Cardiff lost 4-1 against Middlesbrough, meant we moved up to 11th. We can still overtake Preston and Coventry. We can't overtake Middlesbrough, so the highest upside for us at the moment is 9th. And considering where we were kind of just before the international break, if you'd offered me 9th or even 10th at that point, I would have snapped your hands off. And I hope we finish 10th, actually, because that would mean I think I'll get my prediction bang on from the start of the season.
As well.
I'll absolutely take 10th at this moment in time. 9th would be massive, obviously really good for us as well. Top 10 would be lovely.
I think it's definitely on as well. I mean, they have 2 games in hand, both Coventry and Preston, but Preston have lost their last 3 and they've got Leicester and West Brom to play. So
Coventry's got Ipswich.
Yeah, so definitely and what I mean, they're playing QPR home, but QPR
that's not an easy game.
Crazy. And they've smashed Leeds 4-0 and changed everything now. But yeah, top 10 I'll be very satisfied with, and I'll be happy with the end of the season, and that will make us, I think, 8 unbeaten and 1 loss in 10 in our last 10 will be if we get that.
And the resurgence of some players is really massive.
And the clean sheets as well. There's another clean sheet yesterday as well. So
joint third best defensive record in the league, because West Brom conceded 3 at Sheffield Wednesday, so that meant we climbed up actually. So if we keep a clean sheet at Stoke, even if we draw 0-0 or something like that, just so much confidence for that defense. And if you give credit to Viner, Dickey, Roberts, Tanner, McCrory, Pring, Max, all of them have been massive part of that defense. And I'd rather have a solid defense and then you can build off that, rather than a couple of seasons ago where we had a very good attack in Martin, Semenyo, Feynman, Scott, etc., all of them players, but then we didn't have a solid defense at all. I'd rather this, and then we can add in the summer. I know what your take on that is. I'd rather this situation right now than a couple of seasons ago. Yeah,
definitely. And I'm looking back of the season where Andy Feynman had his incredible 20 odd goals. We conceded 77 only 2 seasons ago, which is 30 more goals than we've conceded with 1 game to go, which is which is something. So now we just need to find that goal scoring statistics again. But brilliant defense. I'm very happy with how it's gone this year.
Should we quickly talk about match ratings? We can shoot through these, so we'll not go chapter and verse on them. And then
we'll talk about the summer contracts, then maybe
summer players, etc. Max O'Leary, I'll go 7.
Yeah,
one word, by the way. Let's just challenge it. One word.
One word. Well, one word to describe, or just
one word, as in like 7, 6, 5.
Okay. I'll go 7.5.
Oh, that's not one word, is it? Oh, I'm stupid. Never mind. McCrory, 7.
6.5.
Get your ratings in the chat if you want to as well. Put the name of the player and then rating if you want. Tanner, 6.5. No, that's harsh. 7. No.
6.5.
Rob Dickey, 7.
Wait, no, I changed Max to 6.5. Sorry, I've thought about it. A whole 1 rating down. I know, but he didn't have too much to do. Anyway, no words, just numbers. What's the next one?
Rob Dickey.
Rob Dickey, 7.
Hayden Roberts, I'll go 7.5. I thought he was good. 7.5 in particular.
7.
Campering, 7.
7 as well.
Joe Williams, I'll go 7.5.
7.
Okay. Matty James, 7. Not 7s.
I'm gonna go 7 again.
Scott Twine, 12. 8. By far his best game of the season.
I'm gonna go 8.5 because I think I'm going for more than one word with this one, but I think he proved to me why he should be here next season and the impact that he can make. Because if he signs that contract, yeah, he's not been amazing, but he hasn't had that many games. But today he showed why. He created all our chances basically. Had got the ball through to Conway and obviously scored that free kick. So man of the match as well.
Tommy Conway, 7.5.
7.5 as well. Yeah.
Anis Mehmeti, 6.5.
I'll agree with that as well.
Mark Sykes, bloody awful, I thought. 5.5.
I'll go 6.
Naki Wells, 6.
Yeah, 6 as well. Didn't have.
Jason Knight, I'll go 6.5.
6. Yeah.
Andy King, 10. I don't care. 10. I don't care. I love that man.
We'll give him a 10 for his last game of the season.
I can't read what I've written. No, Elijah Morrison.
For that tackle, I'll give him a 7. For
you
his
know what,
debut.
go for it. You know why not? Why not? Liam Manning, 7. It's Rotherham.
7.5.
All right.
Got the job
Wonderful.
done.
That's our player ratings done. I will forget to calculate an average like every week because I can't be asked to type into the spreadsheet. Let's talk about this comment then, shall we? Players who might or might not be here in the summer, and we can clip this bit out if we want and put it on YouTube separately. Yeah, so obviously there are multiple players at the moment who are playing a big part in the Bristol City team currently, either starting week in, week out, or coming off the bench and playing a big part, and or scoring goals for Bristol City. I'm talking about really Matty James, Joe Williams, Tommy Conway, in particular, who are players there are uncertainty over, and obviously we have then Andy King as well, who, not played as big of a part this season. Good player, but again, someone we expect to leave. We'll talk about them individually. Really, we'll start with Andy King. I think we can both agree that he's on his way out.
Yeah, I think obviously in terms of playing, he won't be here, but I still think there could be a potential chance of him getting.
I meant in like in a playing capacity.
Playing style, I think
he won't be offered.
He definitely won't be offered anything, but I thank him for his times where he's had to going centre back as well. But yeah, no, he's not going to stay, I don't think.
Fairly simple one. It's like more complicated one then. Matty James, because we have, and I just want to I'll pad this point a little bit. We're 7 games unbeaten. I don't think there's any coincidence we've been 7 games unbeaten since Scott Twine's come into the side, and also since Matty James has come into the side. I think there's a correlation between that. Causation between the correlation. That's what I meant. I think there is something in that. I wouldn't be against offering Matty James a 1-year extension, to be brutally honest. And again, I'm not in the kind of dressing room every day. I don't know what he's like around the place, but he seems like a good character, experienced, and someone Manning can rely on. And I don't think really he's ever made a horrendous mistake for us where, I don't think he's like had a terrible run of games. He's always going to be a safe player, and he brings that leadership to the first team, which I think is massive in football, especially in the modern day. So I wouldn't be attest to keeping Matty James on for another year. However, him considering he has a family as well, I think young kids, so he might be maybe wanting to move back home up north. I don't know. What your take on that is?
I'd say, well, if we look at our midfielder positions, excluding the number 10, if Matty James, let's say, would stay and Joe Williams, then we'd have Williams, James, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, Max Bird, and Jason Knight. So that's kind of a first two choices. That's 5 positions in terms of 2, which is quite a lot. And all those 5 players are really effective, and they've proven it, and they're great players. Well, we'll see how Max Bird settles in, but he looks really bright, and he scored a goal to get them promoted. Yeah, I personally, I think we're more likely to sign Williams over James, and I think it will be either one of those two. So I don't think I see us keeping them both. Not against that, but I feel like we will go for Williams over Matty James. I mean, how old is Matty James now? 32. Yeah, 32. And Joe Williams is getting
27, 28, something like that. 27, I think.
27. So he's got 5 years still younger than Matty James. But yeah, I think we'll go for him over James, but we'll see what happens. I think I would as well. I think Matty James is a great player, but I think Joe Williams still has a lot to prove.
Well, I'll put it this way. If you had a choice between James and Williams to renew, and let's say that the deals offered to them are kind of appropriate for them, and like the deals is not the same, basically, who would you opt for? And who do you think is more integral to this Bristol City team at the moment? Who would you play? Who's more kind of first on the team sheet, if that makes sense? That doesn't make grammatical sense, but you know what I mean.
I'd say this season Matty James has been more integral, but I think what we're moving to, and with the players coming in, I feel like he's not gonna be as effective, and he's gonna have probably one more year if he gets a year extension, 1-2 years maximum, if he stays. And I think Joe Williams has still a bit more time, and I think he'll still play even less because Jason Knight will be starting probably every game. And
Max Bird's coming in as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Max Bird. So he looks really a bright, good player. And then with Max Bird, Taylor Gardner-Hickman coming in, I think Joe Williams. I just feel like I'd pick him over him in terms of next season and get more worth out of him, in my opinion. But it's not an easy decision.
Okay, so let's say Joe Williams is offered a new contract. How many years is he?
His contract ends this summer or next year?
This summer.
This summer. I'd say
that's why we're having this conversation.
2 years. I'd say 2 years. I'd say 2 years.
2 years for a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
I'd say 3. And I'd keep both of them, to be quite honest, because I don't think, put it this way, let's say we lose Joe Williams, there is not much better out there on the free agent market, because we're going to lose Joe Williams for nothing. We're not going to get much better. We're not going to get much better players, i.e. 27-year-old, prime of his career, having the form of his life at the moment in a functioning system. And he's doing it consistently for us. And I think he fits this Manning system quite well as that 6. So I would keep Joe Williams. Absolutely would keep Joe Williams. And I would keep Matty James as well on a one-year deal that is appropriate for all parties, really. I'd keep both of them. Right, the next one is Tommy Conway. And Tommy Conway is a very different conundrum because his contract isn't up this summer. It's up next summer. But the problem is, if we keep him for another year and he doesn't sign a new deal, we'll lose him for nothing next summer, or we get a completely reduced transfer fee from 6 months worth of football we get out of Tommy Conway. So again, what is your stance on Tommy Conway situation at the moment. Would you? I think we have offered him a new contract, but
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
I think
made
I
clear
think Tinian said that. I think Tinian said that it was rejected. 3 different ones, I think, rejected. So, I don't know. What do you make of that? And do you think he'll be here next season?
Well, yeah, Brian Tierney in the match kind of preview of yesterday's game. Yeah, I didn't actually hear that part of rejection, but yeah, he made clear that offers were on the table for both Williams and Tommy Conway. The rejection probably came from we're trying to get him on a long-term contract for a few more years. I think he's a brilliant player. I don't think he's at the Prem level yet. And he's still finding his feet, still got a lot of improvement to do, but he's still going to be so useful next year. If we sign another striker, I think Naki Wells, well, I don't know how many years he has left on his contract, but next year will probably be his last.
Yeah, next year was just last year.
And yeah, we'll just see him run down to the end of his contract and then he'll leave. But yeah, I think what will happen is perhaps a 1-year contract extension. So then it'll be 2 years from this summer where he'll go out. So we'll keep him 1 more year. And then if he has another really good season, scores some more goals, impresses, then could probably see him leave at the end of next season. Providing we have that extra year then on him to make sure the transfer fee isn't, nothing. So I can see that happening because they probably offered him like another 2 years or maybe even longer, and he probably didn't want to have that sort of commitment because he knows he has the potential to really go far.
Well, put it this way: at 21 years old, 21 isn't he, Tommy? 21 years old, he's not had the best season of his career. I think 5 penalty goals, 5 goals. Apart from that, and 2 of them in that game away at Rotherham. So apart from that, 3 other goals. Again, okay, fine. Injury at the start of the season, which kept him out for a while, which has to be noted. But would you say? I don't know. I don't know. Would you say replacing Tommy Conway isn't kind of the worst thing that could happen if we sell him for this summer? Considering if we do sell him, I don't know, 3.5 million, something along those lines, maybe even less. I don't know. What would you take? What's your take on that?
I say if we sell him I think he'd probably go for around 4 million maximum if we were to sell him, and I could see it go. Probably, I don't
because if it's not a Prem team, if it's not a Premier League side. I don't know, Celtic or Rangers.
It's a Scottish side.
One of the teams coming down from the Premier League. I know, like a Sheffield United or a Burnley or a Luton.
I could potentially see another Championship side coming from, but I don't think we would sell him onto just another Championship side who probably will go up, but I don't think that's kind of the path that Conway wants, and I just don't think he's good enough for a low Premier League side either. Like who's down there now? Probably Crystal Palace, Everton, to put their points deductions, but he just
don't disrespect Crystal Palace. Don't disrespect Crystal Palace. They're gonna. Look, I think they're.
No.
It's not a Palace pod, but like you know, I think they'll be up there.
Enough.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I don't think he's Premier League quality yet.
That's the thing. I think the club knows that he can get there, and he could have a fantastic season next year. Maybe we play a partnership up front with another striker or something like that. He could bag 10 open play goals, and then the whole thing changes. Then he really shines.
Well, Manning said his target should be 15 goals. In I think the pre-match Rotherham, he said, with Conway, it's about him getting 15 plus goals, basically.
Including
that's the target for next season. I think from a Tommy Conway perspective, probably staying at Bristol City is the best. I know that's a bit biased, but I think probably staying at Bristol City, especially if we get this fella in, then that might be better for his development. And then going to a new club where, again, Bristol City is the only club he's known, again, academy-wise and etc. If he goes to a new club that's in Scotland, and he'll have to get used to, especially if he goes to Rangers or Celtic, that's massive pressure. You know what I mean? The expectation there is to win every game, isn't including the old firm games. So it's different sort of pressure. Can he deal with it at 21 years old at City? I know we don't like hearing it. It's not the same pressure. We don't have to win every single game. We're not expecting to be in the top two. No, we're not expecting to fight for the title. We might expect to sneak in there if we're around there in the playoffs. But apart from that, he'll get away with a bad performance here and there. He'll still be given a chance. And ultimately, I think from a Premier League perspective, if he's looking at his own development, I think a player scoring a striker at 22, 23, whatever it will be next year, if he scores 15 plus goals, I think that's more valued than scoring, I don't know, 10, 12 goals up in Scotland. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. Let's take an example. Chuba Akpom last season scored some ridiculous amount of goals from as a number 10, 20-something goals. Went straight to Ajax. You know what I mean? Massive club. If he did that for Celtic, like Kyogo up there for Celtic, for example, he scored a ton of goals for them. He's not going to get a massive move into the Premier League. He might be linked, but no one's really going to take a punt on him. But because it's the Championship, because it's England, Premier League sides are more likely to come in for the top players. And that's purely from a selfish Tommy Conway perspective. He's more likely to get a Premier League move, and that's the kind of pinnacle, isn't it, for him as a striker, as any player in the Championship, in the British City squad. It's about getting to the Premier League. Whether that's with City, whether that's getting a move. I think he's got more chance of doing that with success here than, I don't know, success in Scotland.
I definitely agree. And I can just see him going to Scotland, maybe not getting the game time he wants, not giving him the time to settle in, and then his career can really go into a spiral, and then it makes it really hard for him. I think the better option is for him to stay, and he looks happy here. And he knows he's still got work to go on and to come, and just the progress he's made since he was an academy boy. He's seen his best mate Alex Scott do it. He knows it can happen. So I think he will sign it as well, and I think we will see. I don't know if you saw Scott Murray's Instagram comment on his post as well. He said just sign the contract, buddy, or something like that.
Typical Scott, isn't it? It's just typical Scott.
But yeah, and I hope we do see him. So I could see a 1-year contract potentially.
What, 1-year extension onto the current deal? You mean?
I can see that happening. Obviously, I prefer more, but
I think if he is to sign a new contract, it'll probably be another couple of years to give him next season. And if he starts properly banging next season, and he, fingers crossed, touch wood, he stays fit, then that would be magnificent for his development. Because then I think that'll be good for us as well. If he has a really good season next season, let's say, I don't know, maximum upside, he gets 20-something goals. When then we'll have another couple of years to really maximize his value. And then, I don't know, you mentioned Everton, Crystal Palace, whoever it is in the Premier League at that point can then come in, and then we'll demand quite a lot of money, and rightfully so. Proven goal scorers at this level are hard to find. So to have someone in the building, massive credit to Brian Tinian, to have someone in the building who's come through our academy and who's now a starting striker for Bristol City, massive credit to him. Massive credit to the academy system in place at the moment. Assuming Conway won't resign, how much would we get for him with only a year left? Probably not a lot. So would it be worth keeping him for a year? Question mark, who else is available? Well, the who else is available bit, I think Tinian hinted at the fact that we might go abroad for a striker. We know that a striker is on the target list, isn't it? Yes, we might go abroad for that. Would it be worth keeping him from the year, letting him work for nothing? I don't think so. Not at his age. I don't think so. I think his age just helps with that kind of added value, doesn't it? At 21,
I think we'll regret it if we do that.
Same kind of not very compatible, but kind of a Hanno Masengo situation where young player, clearly very talented, but just maybe not quite ticking. And yeah. I think we'd regret it if we let him go on a free transfer. But yeah, that's it. I think from Tommy Conway. This fella, Scott Twine, is now I'm biased because I love him. I think he's magnificent. I think he's made a massive impact on this team. Maybe I exaggerate a little bit, but the record doesn't lie. Facts speak for themselves. 8 games, I think, and he's started for Bristol City. We've not lost any of them. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And again, I said Twine and Matty James both coming in made a massive impact. Now, the massive elephant in the room is obviously Burnley and whether they're going to stay up or go down. So
that's getting really interesting now
Yeah.
because their form has been incredible and they have 1 loss in 8 games. If I counted that
a lot
right.
of draws.
1 loss in 8 games, a lot of draws, but 2 wins in there, 2 big wins, two draws away at Chelsea and Man U. So they're keeping within it, and they're only 2 points off, and they play Nottingham Forest on the final day of the season. So I think that plays a massive factor because they stay up, they are a lot more likely to let Twine go
for a reduced price as well because they'll, if you think about it from an FFP perspective, if they go down, they'll probably want a little bit more for their players considering because FFP and whatnot. But because if they stay up in the Premier League, well, FFP is not as much of an issue because if let's say they sell who's top good player at Burnley, Wilson Odobert for 20 million, 25 million. Well, they're set really in terms of FFP. So it's fine. So they'll be I think a little bit more relaxed on the Scott Twine scenario because Scott Twine probably not going to play for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see them if they stay up, they'll be like, okay, let's look at our loans coming back. Okay, we've got Scott Twine there. He's not probably enough fit. He's happy there. They more likely to let him go, but they come back down. Could have players leaving. They know Twine is a proven championship player, and he could be useful. They probably want him back, or if they sell him, like you said, they'll want more for him. So we just pray on Burnley staying up, really. If they do come down, there's still a chance, but I think the price tag will be hard, and then we'll have a big decision to make. But it does look like Twine's happy here, and they've already made some friends. Obviously, I feel like they've got a little group there with Tommy Conway, Joe Williams, and yeah, I feel like the chemistry of the first team as well is really good. I feel like we've got a good group of players. It looks like they've blended in well.
No, I agree. I think the mentality within the group is good. The spirit is obviously good, and a lot of that down to. Can I talk about him, Nigel Pearson? So that's a credit to him because a lot of these players are Nigel Pearson players. So massive kind of credit to Pearson for doing that. Yeah, and also just wanted to quickly touch on it. Burnley last season obviously played a 4-2-3-1, and Scott Twine's best position since he's come here is that number 10 position. I think we can all agree on that. Burnley recently have been playing a 4-4-2, proper Sean Dyche. They've gone back to Sean Dyche ball. Obviously, it's still fluid and whatnot. It's still, Vincent Kompany kind of passing movement, whatnot. But they have moved to 4-4-2, and Scott Twine is not very good, or is very, very is far more restricted playing on the left-hand side than he is in that number 10 position. So that might be another consideration Burnley do. But again, considering if they come down exactly, they might go back to 4-2-3-1 because they'll probably have a lot more possession in the Championship than they will in the Premier League. So they'll probably look at control of possession a lot more, and might do that. If you're listening, let us know your thoughts on Scott Twine and whether you'd keep him. Have you been convinced? I think I've been convinced since he was signed on loan. I was on that train. I think as soon as that goal went in against Watford, I was like, sign him up then. And the chant against his chant. I'm not singing it. His chant against Rotherham. Hook it into my veins, as a character from The Simpsons said.
I'll hear it, Stoke.
Yeah, you have to. If you don't, you're not a fan, right? Hook it into my veins, as as one said. And yeah, let's hope he signs, and hopefully we don't get our pants pulled down for it either. To quickly finish off, and I hope you haven't forgotten, because I forgot to remind you before the show, the quiz.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you've forgotten, haven't you? I haven't. I made an extra commitment to getting this absolutely bang on. So, should I ask first, or do you want to ask first?
I'm gonna have to think of a question as you ask me, which is not gonna be easy, but yeah, go on then.
I'll ask first, then, shall I? So, anyone listening, watching, I'll ask him a question, and then if Matisse gets it wrong, well, nothing really happens. I just get a moral victory, really.
If I get it right, you have to sing the song.
I'm not seeing anything, all right?
I'm going full screen, so anyone in the comment section as well, go.
Yeah. You know, there's a hide chat function in the bottom right.
Right.
Once you go full screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's funny, isn't it? Right. So you can get involved in the comments now as well, if you so desire. Right. This question is about one of the players that Rotherham started with, and this is the starting 11 for Rotherham. It was a certain Jordan Hugill. Okay, so this is a Jordan Hugill based question. What do you know about Jordan Hugill?
Nothing.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I relied on you having a little bit of championship knowledge for this, so you might be screwed.
Okay.
I'll be kind though. So Jordan Hugill is obviously a championship stalwart for any championship geeks like me. Has been around the block for a while. Came into the championship at Preston, tore it up, etc., etc. I've given away an answer. So, name five clubs Jordan Hugill has played for in his career.
In the championship or just in his career?
In his career. I've just given away an answer.
I'm gonna go for Preston, I think, as the first choice.
Maybe you might be right.
So there's a throw in the dark. You said championship, but I have to be honest. My championship knowledge is average, but not up to like tip top standards. Because I feel like it's one of those leagues that if you're a Premier League fan, you usually watch other Premier League games. But I feel like the percentage of people who watch other championship games who are championship fan is a lot less, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have a go anyway. Let me get. I'll get the league table out just so I can kind of have a feeling. But not that I don't know all the teams in the championship.
Joe has got it bang on in the chat. That is top work, but you cannot look. You can't look. He has got it absolutely spot on in the chat.
Wait, how many has he played for? 5.
Well, there are 6. Well, recently his last 6 I've put down. Before that it was like non-league and stuff.
Okay, so six teams, and he's got all 5.
6 like championship and other league teams. Yeah,
and he's got 5.
You've said Preston. Think about the team he's playing for right now.
Yeah. I was about to bring that in. But did he get 5 of them?
Yeah, he got 5 of them. Yeah.
He's gonna replace me on the podcast now. I'll go for Rotherham and Preston as my first 2. And
yeah, that's 2.
How many like wrong guesses do I get?
3. I'll give you 3.
Oh, these are all shot in the dark. I'm going to go for Stoke.
No, he has not played for Stoke. So that's 1.
I just feel like he's going to play for like Huddersfield.
I'll check actually, because he might have played for Huddersfield in his youth days.
I knew that. I knew that as well. I remember.
I don't think so.
He played under 9s there.
Under 9s, right? Yeah.
I remember
Huddersfield. No to Huddersfield, I'm afraid.
Huddersfield. So I've got one more to get wrong.
You've
Okay,
got
I'm
one
gonna
more
throw
wrong guess.
Sunderland.
No, that's wrong as well.
So I have
So his one,
no, but
two, three.
I can guess, and again, but I just can't get any more wrong. No,
Okay, fine. Go on then. Fine.
I only get one. You said Prem team.
No, I didn't.
No,
I
but you
said
said like around us.
I might have said Prem team, like leagues around. That might have insinuated Prem. That might also meant League One or League Two. You know what I mean?
Is that
Yes,
one
Prem
of the
team. Yes,
one of
it's
them
a
is
Prem team. Yeah, it's a Prem team. Right. Joe has just put in Matisse gets half the league.
Yeah,
He has actually.
Okay, I'll throw in. I'll go to the Premier League and just
Very
look
close
up
to Sunderland.
for the Prem one.
No. Championship.
Oh,
Club. Just club. Oh my god.
That could be a few. Okay, I'm gonna go for Prem and go on. West Ham. I get it.
Got it. Yeah. That's all right.
It just I've been looking. I was debating Newcastle, West Ham, and I said
All right. You've guessed 3 right so far. I'll give you one more.
I need one. Oh,
Just
okay.
because if you guess 5, we'll be here
Okay,
until
I'm gonna
next
go
Sunday.
back to the championship. I'll guess the other half of the table. Go on, I'll go for a top 6 side. I went for the bottom 2. I'm probably not Leicester.
Go on. What's the saying? Times of virtue, the saying.
Will I go for Ipswich, Southampton, Norwich, or West Brom? You tell me.
I'm not telling you. Come on, chop.
I'm gonna go Ipswich.
That's wrong. He actually played for Ipswich's rivals, Norwich. So you're wrong. And he played for West Brom as well.
So I got 50-50 wrong, basically.
Yeah. Right. So you failed that.
And I proved my outrageous championship knowledge.
Look at that. Look at the state of that. Magnificent.
You're
championship geek like me.
You're an absolute championship sweat.
It shouldn't be average. It should be geeky Joe. Right. Have you got a question ready for me?
You just outed my championship knowledge.
Get better.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a EFL league type question. So now you
hit the chat.
Joe, have another go. So, how many teams, and name all of them, have confirmed automatic promotion this season in the EFL?
Leicester, League One, Pompey, Derby, League Two, Stockport, Mansfield, Wrexham.
Okay, that was too easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Okay, that was too easy.
That was just look at that. If you ask me who's in the playoffs, I might struggle.
Who's in the playoffs for League One and League Two?
wait, I'll hold this.
A bonus point.
League One and League Two.
Go League Two first.
League Two first. MK Dons. Doncaster are in there. Crawley are in there. Trying to think of the other side that sneaked into the playoffs. Crew. That's 4, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You got it.
That's outrageous.
League One, Bolton, Barnsley, Peterborough, and Oxford.
Oh, yeah, you deserve it. Well done.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm just smooth sailing, cruising this week with the quiz. I struggled a little bit last week, didn't I? With the quiz, I think.
Yeah, you did.
To be fair, I gave you a horrible question with Alice Metti.
No, I'm preparing my question for the last.
You said that last week.
Yeah, but now I'm gonna set a reminder. And
Yeah, right, okay.
But we'll do an end of season review as well, where we'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll do it after the Stoke game. Right.
Should we quickly do just prediction, like one sentence prediction for Stoke? Or
2-0. See, they're in good form though.
they
They're just
aren't
beating
good form.
Southampton away.
I say we we concede 2-1, but we get the win last day of the season. Naki Wells.
8 games unbeaten. Harry Cornick on the pitch.
And we've only conceded 2 goals in our last 7 matches, which is very good.
That's Leeds 11. That's like Leeds when they went on a ridiculous get run at the start of the year, 2024. They conceded like 1 goal in 9 or something like that, and no one's talking about our defense. No, I've seen no one like top championship kind of coverers, people who cover the championship. No one talk about how good of a defensive side we are. Look, it's what happens when you have the likes of Leeds, Leicester, Ipswich in this division, Sheffield Wednesday, massive clubs. We get ignored. Our defensive record is superb, and I've not seen a single. I've seen the likes of Alex Palmer in Team of the Seasons. I've seen likes of Vaclav Hladky in Team of the Seasons, but no one's talking about Max O'Leary, Rob Dickey, Zach Viner, Cam Pring, who've been part of this simply amazing defense we've had all season, and this kind of West Brom defense that is really good. What a great defensive side. They don't concede many goals. We've conceded the same amount of goals as them. So there's my little rant for you.
Very true.
We don't get fair coverage at all. That's a lot of teams as well. Preston, they've been kind of undermined all season. They've been in a playoff race all season, really, apart from the last couple of weeks. They've been like, Hull, Coventry, Norwich, that's it. Preston have been like in and around them all season. It's just mental. I find it absurd and quite disrespectful, honestly, to some of these teams. Just because a couple of the big boys are up there taking all the money and getting all the coverage. That's all it is. And it's not going to be helped by the fact that Derby and Pompey are coming up next season as well, who are in their own rights, and I hope they do well. I like Derby and Pompey. I like Derby a lot. Max Bird, Jason Knight, Hayden Roberts. But yeah, they're going to get a lot of coverage as well because they're big clubs for this division too. It's just what it is, isn't it? We're kind of the middling in this league, unfortunately, and unless we start competing for the top kind of bits of the top half in top stages of this division, it's going to stay that way, and we're not going to get much media coverage. I think we're down there in terms of lowest been covered by Sky, which is again, considering we've had some massive wins on Sky, it's a bit bizarre, really.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, the promotion is getting really close now as well. I mean, Leicester obviously have now.
Can we talk about that next week when everything's wrapped up? Because I'm honestly, my head's after that Ipswich game last night. I've been doing so many permutations; it's been mental. Ipswich could lose, and nothing's guaranteed because Leeds still playing.
But Leicester going up and they're getting a points deduction, so that is
they're very likely getting a points deduction. No, that's true. Right, that is it for this edition of the 1894 podcast. Thank you for listening to the debrief after Bristol City's done a win over Rotherham yesterday, which rounded out the home season for the Robins. It was a comfortable win against a fairly miserable Rotherham side who were cheered on by their charismatic and excited fan base who came up in their fancy dresses. However, goals from Tommy Conway and Scott Twine meant a comfortable victory and 3 points, which makes it 7 unbeaten for Liam Manning's clueless Reds. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you have enjoyed it, if you're watching on YouTube, hit like, subscribe to the 1894 podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Annie Housh on YouTube as well. If you're listening on Spotify, hit the 5-star rating, leave us a 5-star rating. Massively help us out, attract more viewers, and help us gain traction. Yeah,
and I'll see anyone going to Stoke next weekend, but because Annie's a fake fan, he won't be there.
Fake fan, that is exactly what I am. Right, fake fan who's just sold his soul to another season of Championship mid-table. That's what I am. Fake fan, right? I understand if I supported like Man City or something. Fake fan, Christ above.
It's an accusation after I've got those Championship questions all wrong. But we'll see you after the Stoke game, and then we'll do another one for the end season and hopefully a good summer. And we push again. But yeah, let's get a win and end the season on a high.
Yeah, after that game actually against Rotherham, just quickly, we have equalled our joint most number of championship home wins since we got relegated. Since we got promoted from League One. Since we got relegated from League One, we went into the Championship. No, since we got promoted from League One under Steve Cottrell. So massive tip of the hat to Manning, Nigel Pearson, these group of players, because they have had some patchy moments this season and we've always recovered. Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you all after Stoke. Thank you very much for watching.